Welcome back to my series, GM Guide to Running Kingmaker. In this episode, we're diving into Chapter 2, Into the Wild. This is where the campaign opens up into a full-blown sandbox. As always, this guide is intended for game masters and contains full story spoilers for the Kingmaker adventure path. If you're planning to play in this campaign, or might be a player in the future, this is your cue to stop watching and check out one of my other videos instead. Chapter 2 is the biggest chapter in the entire adventure path. You'll be coming back to it again and again. It's the reference for the entire hex map of the Stolen Lands. Here's how it's laid out. This chapter is broken into 9 parts. Part 1 covers Hexploration rules, random rumors tables, and other references for the Stolen Lands map. Part 2 has all the hex by hex content, landmarks, encounters, and resources. This is organized into 20 zones on the Stolen Lands map. Parts 3 through 9 focus on specific locations with detailed keyed maps and encounter areas. To keep things manageable, we're not going to be tackling all 20 zones in this video. This will be part 1 of our Chapter 2 prep guide, and we'll focus on the key hexes you'll need to get through chapters 3 through 5. I'll cover the rest of the chapter in future episodes. Let's start with a quick review of how Hexploration works in Kingmaker. I'll just give you the essentials here, and you can find a link to the full rules on Archives of Nethys in the description. The Stolen Lands map is divided into hexes, each one 12 miles across from corner to corner. While exploring, your party will spend time on either group activities or individual activities. These are the group activities the party can do. Travel. This is how the party moves into an adjacent hex. The activity cost to travel is based on the hex being moved into. In open terrain like plains or hills, it takes 1 Hexploration activity. Difficult terrain such as a forest or desert takes 2. And greater difficult terrain like steep mountains or swamps takes 3. Roads will reduce the difficulty step by 1 to a minimum of 1. Reconnoiter. You spend the same amount of activities as it would take to travel into that terrain type to search the hex for unusual features or locations. Some encounters require the hex to be reconnoitered in order to spot them. Hidden features still need a successful check to spot. Individual activities. Instead of joining the group activity to travel or reconnoiter, characters can take one of these activities. Fortify camp. With a trained or expert crafting check, they can fortify the camp, giving anyone on watch duty a +2 circumstance bonus to initiative and perception. Map the area. If a hex has been reconnoitered, you can make a survival check to map it. A mapped hex reduces the travel DC by 2. Subsist. This works the same as the downtime activity, but assumes that the character is doing so after 8 hours or less of exploration. Rivers in this adventure are obstacles, not just scenery. Crossing moving water requires being trained in athletics to make swim checks, unless you find a bridge or ford. Those crossings still require a check, but don't require to be trained in athletics. The same rules apply to mounts. These choke points help guide and sometimes limit exploration. Your party's travel speed is set by the slowest member per the Hexploration activities per day table on page 207 of the GM Core. This will determine how many activities per day the party can perform. Activities can be split between days. For example, if the party has 1 activity remaining and wants to travel into an adjacent hex that is difficult terrain, they can use 1 activity, camp, and rest, and then the next day spend the remaining activity to move into that hex. Certain feats, or traveling by horse or other mount, can improve the party's speed, but remember, animals need food and care. Companions also count, unless you decide to handwave that. In the entries for Hex encounters, you will see one or more of the following tags. Landmark. These are obvious from adjacent hexes, sometimes even further. These are automatically discovered when traveling through the hex. Resource. These contain materials of value that can be used in the character's kingdom. Standard. These encounters are found when reconnoitering, not just traveling through a hex. Secret. These are hidden encounters that require a check or a special condition in order to discover. As the party travels through the Stolen Lands, they will run across random monsters or NPCs. Each zone in Part 2 has a table for use during play, or as a guide to design your own. While this phase of the game is a true sandbox, wandering too far from civilization too early can be deadly. The character's charter might allow exploration as far south as the Kamelands, but at level 1 or 2, that's asking for trouble. The random encounter tables give you a rough idea of a zone's danger level along with the story milestones table on page 7. That'll give you an idea of what level the character should be when facing challenges in each of those zones. The rumor tables in Part 1 of Chapter 2, starting on page 47, are super useful, but they're also really easy to overlook or forget about. While the party is still in Brevoy, this is a perfect time to start using them. Drop in a few rumors during downtime or as your players shop in Restov. These can come from a merchant, a drunk bard, or a retired soldier. Use them to hint at interesting locations, upcoming threats, or opportunities down the road. You can even use these rumor tables later in the campaign during kingdom turns or while meeting NPCs and settlements. I recommend reviewing the rumor tables as part of your prep. Pick a few that you like and drop them in during moments of role-player downtime in your session. Think of them as narrative seeds that can bloom later. Encourage your players to note these down or do so yourself to keep track of which ones they have been presented already. As I've mentioned in my last video, Chapter 2 has quests scattered all throughout the chapter. Some quests are introduced in a hex where the party receives the hook, while others are only referenced in the hex where the party completes the objective. To make things easier for myself, I've put together a cheat sheet listing every quest in the adventure along with the page number, the source, quest level, and notes on when the party is likely to encounter it. I've also included special kingdom events that happen at specific times, as well as the companion quests. Having all that info in one place really helps with prep, knowing which quests will likely be coming up soon. I'll link that cheat sheet down below in the video description. If you are using the companion guide supplement, you'll want to be aware of which of the extra NPCs you want to introduce to the party and when. Several of the new companions in that supplement happen around the time that Chapter 3 takes place. If the characters start exploring before engaging with the story in Chapter 3, this may be a good time to use some of them. At the end of Chapter 1, the characters are in Brevoy, in the city of Restov where they receive their charter. This is the perfect time to remind them, either directly or through an NPC interaction, that once they leave Brevoy, they won't have easy access to shops for a while. Encourage them to stock up on gear, potions, and supplies. It's also a great opportunity to drop some rumors, either by letting them gather information while shopping, or simply have them overhear one or two rumors from the central Stolen Lands rumors table on page 48. If your party is low on funds, this is a great chance to offer them a simple side quest. Something easy like escorting a wagon of supplies from Restov to Nivakta's crossing. You can have this go smoothly or spice it up, maybe delivering the crate of rare wine to a tavern only to be ambushed by thugs sent by a rival tavern trying to sabotage the delivery. Could be a fun way to earn some gold test travel mechanics, or make the world feel more alive. Once they're ready to leave Restov, they'll head west, passing through Nivakta's Crossing before entering the Stolen Lands. Nivakta's Crossing is a level 1 settlement, meaning there's not a lot of gear for sale, but what it lacks in shops, it makes up for in gossip. Characters get a +2 bonus to gather information checks here, which makes it a great place to seed more rumors. Depending on how long they lingered in Restov, the players might see Magar Varn and his mercenaries crossing the Shrike River on their way south to establish Varnhold. If they don't witness it themselves, the locals will absolutely talk about it. It's a big event for the locals and currently the talk of the town. This is also the last chance for the party to rest in an inn and make any last-minute purchases before heading west into the Stolen Lands and true wilderness. The party's charter gives them the right to travel, explore, and root out bandits in zones 1 through 4 on the map. These zones are Rostland Highlands, the Greenbelt, Tuskwater, and the Kamelands. While nothing physically stops them from venturing deeper into the Stolen Lands, those areas are far more dangerous for a low-level group and can quickly turn deadly. Either tell your players this directly or discourage it through NPC warnings, rumors, or other in-world hints. The Rostland Highlands. This is the northeasternmost zone in the Stolen Lands, with the lowest level encounters and locations in the region. I won't cover every single hex here, but these are the key ones to know. Oleg's Trading Post. This is likely the party's first major destination, though they might choose to explore first. That's the beauty of Kingmaker's open world design. No matter which route they take, consider having them run into some bandits along the way. It sets the tone and connects directly to their charter. Oleg's serves as a safe refuge and a hub to buy and sell supplies. At the start of the campaign, it offers common weapons, armor, and gear from the core rulebooks. As the Rostland Highlands and the Greenbelt become safer from bandits and other threats, you can expand the availability and rarity of items. If the party establishes a settlement here, the trading post functions as a free general store for the settlement. Oleg can also special order items from Restov. Delivery takes 2d6 plus 4 days, though you can adjust this at your discretion. Chapter 3 will cover the events that trigger when the party reaches Oleg's, which I'll detail in the next video. Bokken's Hut. This hex contains both a resource and a standard encounter. Bokken is an eccentric potion maker who lives alone. He offers a quest to collect fangberries from hex GB18 in the Greenbelt, about 55 miles south. Bokken will also mention his brother, who the party is likely to run into later. I would suggest giving him some sort of identifying features that Bokken comments on so they may recognize him later. If the party hasn't met him before arriving at Oleg, you can place him there, selling his potions. Or have Oleg or Svetlana ask the party to check in on him due to the bandit trouble they've been having. Fort Serenko. A sturdy wooden fort abandoned by Restov. It's empty but in good shape, perfect for a secure camp. If claimed during the kingdom building, it functions as a free barracks. But remember, Restov still considers it part of their holdings, which could affect diplomacy later on. Spider's Nest. A combat encounter with a giant trapdoor spider. Once defeated, the party finds a corpse in its lair that holds loot and a treasure map, pointing to a claw-shaped tree in the Greenbelt with a hidden cache. Zone 2, Greenbelt. This zone is much larger, with 20 encounter hexes. The party should be at or near level 2 before exploring here. Here are the key encounters. Temple of the Elk. A long-lost temple to Aristil in the Gnarl Marches. In Chapter 3, the party will receive a quest to locate and clear it, and then escort Jod, a druid of Aristal, to the site. Later, it becomes a kingdom resource. Thorn River Bandit Camp. Detailed in Chapter 3, the party may learn about this camp from captured bandits at Oleg, or they might stumble across it. It holds important clues about the Stag Lord and Svetlana's missing ring. If it looks like the characters are going to wipe out every bandit, considering having the last one or two surrender, so that important information isn't lost. The Old Sycamore. Detailed in Part 3, this 100-foot tall tree is visible from miles away. It's home to a tribe of Mifflets. Inside are clues leading to the Sootscale Caverns and Svetlana's missing ring. The Mifflets have captured several kobolds. Only one still survives, Mikmek. He can guide the party to his people. The Sootscale Caverns, detailed in Part 4. This is home to the Sootscale kobolds. Escorting Mikmek here earns safe passage, otherwise the location is well hidden and must be searched for. If the party comes in hostile, Chief Sootscale may still offer a truce, asking for help dealing with Tartuk, a new purple kobold that is causing him issues. Tartuk is really Tartuccio in disguise. Here is a chance to plant the seeds that someone is working behind the scenes to sabotage the effort to settle the stolen lands. Boggard Lair. This ruined site in the Gnarl Marches is home to Garum, the Boggard, and his pet Slurk. Garum is mainly peaceful and just wants to be left alone. He will offer information in exchange for that promise. If he survives, he may later approach the party with a quest. Zone 3, Tuskwater. Tuskwater is named after one of the largest lakes in the Stolen Lands. The Stag Lord's fort sits on the northeastern shore. The party should be at or near level 3 before venturing into this zone. Here are the key locations. The Stag Lord's fort stands atop a hill on the northeastern shore of Lake Tuskwater. It's detailed further in Part 3 of Chapter 3. This fort is a major focus of Chapter 3, and I'll cover it in more detail in the next video. Endangered Expedition. This event doesn't become available until after the party defeats the Stag Lord. If they discover and clear this hex early, feel free to place the event in another hex later. It introduces an important NPC, the gnome alchemist Jubilost, who's traveling with a group of gnome explorers mapping the Stolen Lands. They've run into trouble, their wagons and horses are stuck in a river and in danger of being lost. Lonely Barrow. Covered in detail in Part 5 of this chapter, a hidden crypt of an ancient warrior king lies here. It's hard to spot, but easier if the party found the Hateful Hermit's map in another hex. They might have also heard some rumors of hidden treasure protected by angry spirits. It's a small yet challenging dungeon encounter. If the party clears this hex, it can serve as a refuge. The Hateful Hermit. The Hateful Hermit is Bokken's younger brother, living alone with his pet cat. Bokken may mention him in conversation, but the party likely won't make the connection until they find a locket in the brother's possession, containing an image of an older woman who resembles Bokken. The hermit also carries a faded map promising great treasure. The Old Beldame. Elga Veranex, the Old Beldame, is a mysterious recluse who lives in a secluded hut and prefers to be left alone. The party may have heard of her via the rumor tables as a hag known as the Swamp Witch. Another rumor says that if you don't call out before entering her yard, she'll turn you into a scarecrow and put you to work in her garden. If the party approaches without first ringing the bell at her gate or calling out, they will be attacked by her animated scarecrow. Zone 4, the Kamelands. The Kamelands form the southern border of the area granted in the party's charter. they should be at or near level 4 when they start exploring this zone. Here are the key locations. Isle of the Lizard King. Detailed in part 6 of this chapter, this small island is home to a tribe of lizard folk. Territorial, but they usually keep to themselves. The party might hear about them via the rumor table. Recently, their leader has fallen under the influence of a spirit that he believes is an ancestor. If the party approaches, they may be able to make an impression on one of the gate guards, who will ask them for help. Another option is to have the cautious lizard folk approach the party in an adjacent hex, seeking help to free the tribe from the spirit that has beguiled their leader. This encounter can lead the party to Candlemere Island, if they haven't already explored it. Candlemere Island is covered in part 7 of this chapter. Once home to a cult of Yog-Sothoth thousands of years ago, the island is notorious throughout the Stolen Lands and is considered to be haunted. Wisps can be seen around it, even during the day, but more so at night. The party can discover a basement here with both treasure and danger. This location returns in Chapter 9, as greater danger lies below that they won't uncover yet. The Hunter's Lodge and Hunting Grounds. If the party explores the Hunter's Lodge before Chapter 5, they'll find an abandoned, dilapidated hunting lodge. They claim the hex is part of their kingdom and can serve as a refuge. The nearby hunting grounds are thick with wildlife and monsters, and this hex becomes a key location in Chapter 5. For now, you can either throw a dangerous creature at them, or simply describe the area as unusually full of animal activity until they return later. That's it for Part 1 of our Chapter 2 overview. We've reviewed how Hexploration works and highlighted the key encounters across the first 4 chartered zones. In later videos, we'll return to Chapter 2 and review the higher level zones when we will need to start prepping them as the campaign progresses. But before that, in my next video, I will dive deeper into Chapter 3 and cover the events at Oleg's trading post that kick off the first story arc, the escalation of the bandit threat, and of course the build-up to confronting the Stag Lord. If you've enjoyed this guide, please drop a like. It really does help these videos reach more people. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know where your Kingmaker campaign is at currently, or share any questions you might have about the rules, encounters, or quests in the zones we covered today. I'll be checking the comments and can cover common questions in a future video.